Hey guys, second graders, how are you? What's up? We are doing, we're talking about Passover today, about the holiday of freedom, about the spring holiday, about the days where the Israelites came from slavery to freedom. When the days when Moses said, "Let my people go," and Pharaoh said, "No, I'm not." Oh, the battles that were there. So let's start from the beginning. There were Israelites in Egypt because there was a famine. A famine, that means that there is no food and no water in Israel. And they went down to Egypt and they stayed in Egypt. And at some point, the Egyptians, the Pharaoh that was there, didn't like all the Israelites that's there. So he wanted to send those Israelites to slavery. And that's what he did. But that wasn't enough for him because he thought that the Israelites are still a big nation. So he started a new rule. Every male of the Israelite that will be born, he will send him to the river of Naz. He will throw him over there. Yes, it's devastating. So one family didn't want to follow the rules. I bet there was a lot. They didn't want to, but we're focusing on this family. And they took their baby and they put him in the water in a basket. They put some tar in the basket so water won't come in. And they sent the water in the river. And the bassinet was floating on the river until it got into the area of the daughter of Pharaoh was washing her hands and doing a shower. You know, there were no showers in the old days, and we did it in the river. So she found the bassinet and she took it out and she saw a baby inside. And she was merciful. She didn't want, I know, it's a baby. So she took it in and she called him Moses. In Hebrew, Moshe. Moses grew up to be a fine young lad and he was a smart boy. And his father, even though he was a stepson, loved him, some say even more than his own son, his stepbrother, Pharaoh the son. So Moses grew up, and Moses was a very kind person. And one day he saw an Egyptian soldier hitting an old Israelite slave. And he was like, "Why would you do that?" And the soldier was like, "Mind your own business." And Moses and the soldier got into an argument, and they were standing on a leverage place. And while they were arguing, they pushed each other, and Moses pushed him a bit strong, and he fell down and died. Moses was hiding the body, hoping nobody will see it. But one Israeli girl saw it. And while Moses was walking in the streets of Egypt, she came from behind and told him what happened. And Moses was hoping that nobody will see, but she said, "Don't worry, your secret is safe with us. And I do want to tell you that you are one of us as well." He was like, "No, I'm not. I'm an Egyptian and you're an Israelite." And she said, "No, you are an Israelite born. You were raised as an Egyptian." Moses was devastated, but he didn't believe her much. So he went home to his mom and he asked her, "Is that true?" The mom wanted her son to be the Pharaoh and not Moses. So she did tell him, "It is true, Moses." Moses was devastated. He ran away from the palace and he went into the desert to live over there. He stayed over there for several years. He married a woman and he had a family. One day, one of his lambs ran to the mountains. So Moses was running after the lamb, and when the lamb went up, Moses went up. And when the lamb went down, Moses was down. And when the lamb went to the left, Moses went to the right, to the left, yes. And then when the lamb went there, Moses was there over there, and she was over there, and he still couldn't find it. Where is the lamb? But then, one time after a round corner, he saw a burning bush. It wasn't an ordinary burning bush. This bush was burning, but wasn't eaten. Something was strange. How is a bush burned but not eaten? Suddenly a voice came from above. Moses, take your shoes off your legs, because you are on a holy ground. Moses did so. And the bush said to Moses, no, it wasn't coffee, it's me, not the bush. Moses, go save my people from Egypt. Let my people go. Moses said, I'm not a guy. I'm not really good, and I don't want to go back over there. I had some history. I'm not the guy. But God insisted. And Moses had no choice but to go to Egypt. And when he went to Egypt, his father, who was the old Pharaoh, died, and his stepbrother is now the new Pharaoh. When he saw Moses, he was very happy because he loved Moses. So he hugged him and he said, Moses, so good to see you. Where have you been? Now I'm the Pharaoh, you know. And Moses telling him, I know, but I need you to let my people go. What? What people? And Moses said, the Israelites. And Pharaoh was like, let me think about it. No. What do you mean? I'm going to let those slaves go away. Those are the people that work for me. I'm going to let them go. Who will do that? Who will build my pyramids? Who will build my castle? Who? And Moses said, they need to go. And he said, they really don't. So Moses took his staff to show that he's serious and threw the staff on the floor. And the staff became a snake. Pharaoh was like, okay. So he called his two magicians, and they both threw their staff on the floor, and it became a snake. Moses' snake jumped on those snakes, fight with them, and swallowed them alive. So they didn't know what to do. But Pharaoh wasn't impressed. Moses took his staff back because it became a staff again. Pharaoh said, I'm not impressed from your mumbo jumbo. You dare not go. Moses had no choice. He asked God what to do, and God told him to go to the river, put his staff in the water, and the water of all Egypt became red. It was the first plague. It was blood. All over Egypt, people couldn't drink. There was no water. There was only blood. And Moses came to Pharaoh and said, I told you, let my people go. Pharaoh was like, you think I'm impressed with some blood in my water? No. Moses then put the second plague. It was lice. It was frogs, sorry. Frogs everywhere. Frogs in bed, frogs in the cupboard, frog in the plate, frog in the soup, frog everywhere. Pharaoh said, I will not let them go. Was still insistent. Moses brought the third plague, and it was lice. Lice all over the head, the body. And the Egyptians scratched so much. Even Pharaoh scratched, but it wasn't enough. Pharaoh said no. And then came the fourth plague. Wild beasts. There were beasts everywhere. They were eating, they were jumping on people, they were like eating cattle, eating people. It was an outrage. But still, Pharaoh said no. And then came the fifth plague, and it was the cattle disease. All the cattle, not all of them, but a lot of them died. And people of Egypt started to cry, but it didn't change to Moses. He was to Pharaoh. He was still stubborn. And then came the sixth plague, and it was boils. All over the body, boils. If you, it's like yucky, disgusting boils. But still, even Pharaoh, with a boil on his head, said, I will not let your people go. And it didn't work. So there came the seventh plague. And it was hail all over the land. Some say that the hail had fire in it. So when the ball fell on the ground, fire burst. It was devastating. Not for Pharaoh, because he was like, nope. And then came the eighth plague. And the eighth plague was locust. And the locust is like a small cricket. They all fly all over the land. And they ate all the crops. And the people of Egypt were like, Pharaoh, we have nothing to eat. But Pharaoh was stubborn. We'll grow some more. Nope. And in the ninth plague, it was darkness. Nobody could have seen anything. But the Egyptians, they cried, but Pharaoh didn't care. He was not letting them go. Moses then went to God and said, what's next, God? And God said, let the Israelite paint their doorpost with the blood of a sheep. And tell them to get ready, because tomorrow they're all going out. And Moses told that to the Israelites. And at that night, there was a fog coming all over Egypt. And every house that was not painted with the blood of a sheep, the fog went in and killed the firstborn. Even Pharaoh lost his firstborn. And when Moses came to him and said to him, let my people go, Pharaoh was so devastated from the death of his son, and he said, go away. Take the Israelites and go away. And that's what they did. All the Israelites came out of Egypt. But after several hours, Pharaoh had a change of heart. And he said to his people, jump on your chariot, we're going to grab them and we're going to get them back. I've got nothing to lose anymore. And that's what they did. They all ride after the Israelites. And at some point the Israelites reached the Red Sea, and the Israelite people cried to Moses, did you bring us over here to kill us? We can't go anywhere, and now the Egyptians are after us, and they will destroy us. And Moses struck his staff on the Red Sea, and the water opened into two walls. And the Israelites went in the middle, and they passed to the other side. And when the Egyptian chariot came, they tried to run after them, but Moses struck his pole, and it fell on the Egyptians. And that's how the Israelites ran away from Egypt. And they went into the desert. And the stories in the desert are stories for some other time. But today, this is our story about Passover. Next time that I will put you on, when I do this class, I'm going to talk about some traditions. But meanwhile, in the packet that I gave you, you can read about some of those traditions, and we can talk about them when we'll do a Zoom meeting. I think we'll do it maybe on Friday, and then we will talk about it a bit. But meanwhile, you need to read from page 93 until page 97 and do the questions on page 96. There is a green question over here. You can see it. I want you to do it. And there is another question on page 95 about the Afikoman, and I want you to do it as well. So do this for now, and I will post another post on Thursday to tell you how we're moving forward and what do we do. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.